everybody, and welcome again to Table Takes. It is the first week of April. I hope none of you fell for the April Fool's jokes that are going on, and I hope also for those who are in the city or anything like that, you're dealing with the pollen and all kinds of life happening. Life is just everywhere. It's springtime. Oh my goodness. Besides that, it looks like we got so many wonderful wonderful faces back again. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a catch up. Javion, how have you been this week?
Oh, I've been excellent. I have been collecting a bunch of board games, Kickstarters that have been rolling in. I'm super excited about them. The Wolves board game, it's sort of, well, there's two actually. I don't know if you know this. There's two Wolves board games that are called Wolves. Both were Kickstarters, and it's a little confusing. You might see one out on retail, but I just got the one Kickstarter. It's a little bit simpler than the other one. It's much more asymmetrical. You kind of have to help each other when you're playing. It's still a competitive game though, so that's what I liked about it. That's why I got it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Oh, and also, I am one of the backers for the AEG expansion extravaganza. I think they call it something funny or weird like that. But basically, I just got a bunch of expansions for AEG games, including but not limited to Space Base. So I can't wait to play that expansion eventually.
Oh yeah, no, AEG Games has been like doing a ton. They did Cascadia expansions as
Right.
well, and it's just so many expansions.
Hmm.
So I am glad that you were able to get in on that and try them out. Well, not yet, but you got
Okay.
you get them
I'm still
eventually.
waiting on an invitation to your game night.
All the game nights we haven't actually had it in a while because baby's been in the way, but you know
Ah.
what I mean. But
Mhm.
yes. Other than that, Anita, how have you been?
I've been well. I remember last week when I mentioned the 3D printed project that I was working on. It was a chainmail jerkin. Well, it is work in progress, uh, but it is almost done. I just got to do the sleeves, add a little bit of length to it. Other than that, I've been on a GM grind. I have GM'd 3 games this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've been running Avatar Legends and some Urban Shadows for Magpie Games as part of their curated play program. So
Ooh.
I've been busy, busy, busy this week, uh, and I'm back this week hosting.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Always great to have you. But yeah, no, that was the quietest chainmail I've ever heard
The quietest
on
chainmail you've
there.
never heard.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. You never
Was she
heard, but
muted? I mean, she must have been muted, right?
Yeah,
uh,
I had that hot
but then
button.
I'm glad that you've been also like doing the GM grind with Magpie. And Magpie games, I've played the Avatar game as well, and this is a good quality game. You get to all the band. I forget what character I played. It was I
We've
think it was
had some
more
fun
punchy.
characters. We had a player in like a couple sessions ago that was a guerrilla artist who used paint bombs as a weapon. Uh,
Oh,
so they were basically a Squiddo from Splatoon.
Hmm.
It's been real fun. People come up with some wild characters during these games.
oh man, that actually sounds like a fun character to play. Oh, but other than that, speaking of people who are probably playing characters, what were you doing, Peter? You've been missing for a bit, doing awesome things, I'm sure.
Well, I went to Gary Con last weekend. In fact, I have a whole article about it coming up in our news segment. And I
Ooh.
came back with the flu, which sucks. I've been had the flu all week, but I'm finally getting better now. I mean, I'm here with you. Yeah. So what am I doing? I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Just coming out of that. How about you, Bonsai? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've actually been enjoying being outside and doing some things. Like I said, I was being social. I signed up for a bunch of classes at my local YMCA, and it's a very nice. I didn't realize that one was so like not so like one was pretty close, and also that yeah, it's just was really nice. The facilities have been like way upgraded from when I used to go to the YMCA when I was younger, and it was nice to like get the little one into the water and get him exposed to swimming and stuff and gymnastics. Just trying to do all those like parenting things. Parenting things and stuff like that. And also organizing a little bit of my board games and everything, because now that babies have grabby opening hands, you know, not all board games are not chokeable for ages under 3. So you gotta be careful where you're storing them. So I gotta organize things and childproof the house some more. But yes. Other than that,
Shelves.
the shelves, Kallax shelves. But you know what I feel like? I feel like we should just spring into our articles today. And Anita, you have something that might be fool us all.
I do, in fact. This one comes from our friend Chase Carter over at Dicebreaker News. This one is, I realized that I have the wrong article up. 1 second, everybody. I'm just gonna switch that to that one. April Fools from Starfinder. They released The Gap as a hardcover notebook. Tabletop nerds behind both Pathfinder and Starfinder RPG are selling printed versions of their April Fool's prank, which involved toting a 160-page source book called The Gap that would definitively bridge the distance between the two settings that link their fantasy-flavored Golarion and Absalon stations' far future environs. Except the entire thing is blank. From Paizo's product page, for generations, all information on the mysterious period in Starfinder history known as the Gap have been lost. And now, well, it's still lost. This April 1st, take a peek in Paizo's latest Starfinder tome to reveal nothing. That's right. This book is blank. We may not be willing to divulge the secrets of the Gap, but we are willing to go a long way for an April Fool's joke. This real hardcover book contains 160 blank pages. Perfect, and they're matte, which is perfect for concocting your own theories about what happened during that time period. The writing credits are written by nobody. It's blank, and there is a free PDF with 160 blank pages available on Starfinder's website, the product page.
So funny.
Happy April Fools!
I like that one. It doesn't hurt anybody.
It's very harmless, but if you want to actually purchase the hardcover notebook, it is available in very limited quantities, 1 per customer, for $15.
I love a big journal.
It's like really nice. It's like made like an adventure book. It's really nicely made.
It looks real nice. Like I could see it if you like want to go ahead and use it as like an art book, a journaling or GM book, or even like a sticker book if you can get the right kind of spray to spray on it so you can use it as a sticker book. There's just, as somebody who does a lot of crafting and arts, I'm like, this isn't just blank. This is an opportunity for me.
Yes.
Well, you got Eric Mona there pointing at it. He seems pretty excited about it.
They're all very excited to delve into the blank pages within. But yeah.
Oh, that seems awesome.
I love a good April Fool's prank that doesn't harm anybody.
Yeah, and you know what? Extra credit to going the farther way of getting a free PDF of 160 blank pages. That I think that one was the icing on the cake for me.
Yeah.
You know what, though, is also a little bit of an icing on the cake? Peter, you need to tell us all the things that happened at GaryCon, because I don't know if you noticed, we weren't able to go, so we have to live vicariously through you. Please tell us what happened.
Oh, if you insist, sure, I will tell you all about GaryCon. First of all, so last week I attended GaryCon. So GaryCon was founded by Luke Gygax 16 years ago in honor of his father, Gary Gygax, celebrating a life well played, as they say. Gary Gygax was one of the principal designers of Dungeons & Dragons, along with Dave Arneson, and was the founder of Tactical Studies Rules, or TSR, the original publisher of D&D. Gary also designed a number of war games, including a co-design with Jeff Perrin of chainmail, an important predecessor of D&D for wargaming with fantasy themes. But here in Gen Con headquarters, we are fond of Gary for another reason, a reason that might have seemed quite modest at the time, but is very important to us. Gary Gygax also founded Gen Con 6 years before he and David Artisan invented D&D. One time, Gen Con was described as the country's premier wargaming convention. We have broadened our scope a bit since then. So GaryCon is held in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which is where Gen Con was originally hosted. As a gamer attending GaryCon, I imagine it's how a movie buff might feel attending the Oscars. The convention is packed full of people who have worked on RPGs and war games throughout the past 50 years and board games. You cannot walk down the hall or saddle up to the bar without encountering someone who has contributed to our hobby. In addition to stargazing and hobnobbing with Tater Pig celebrities, I also ran some games. I ran a 6-person, 8-hour game of Titan, the classic fantasy board war game from Avalon Hill. Naturally, we didn't finish the game in only 8 hours, but we decided that at 6 p.m. we would call it on points, and the game was won by our celebrated Actoroki cast member, Gabriel Mondo Vega. I also supported the Gary Adkisson Memorial Magic Tournament by gunslinging. That's a term we use for when a Magic player takes on all comers. So I took my huge collection of theme decks from the 90s, the same decks that Javion and I played during the promotional event we ran here on Gen Con TV a few weeks ago. And in the gunslinging, many shots were fired, but I managed to win almost as many times as I lost.
Mm-hmm.
I also got to meet Ben Spawn.
Wow.
Oh, dang, you were a very, very busy person. And I like that you had Javion be your what is it, your training buddy before getting into the ring again. There you go.
Right.
Thank you, Javion, for helping Peter out with that.
Yeah, he kicked my ass. He won.
We almost built out
three.
this montage of the two of you training magic cards together. We'll get the studio on it. Set to some nice 80s music.
Yeah. Got to do the montage.
It was fun. I had a great time with you, JV.
Yeah, I had a great time too. I learned a lot from you as well, just about Magic. I couldn't believe how much I didn't know. I played Jumpstart once in a while, but a lot of the keywords that we were using, I hadn't really seen before. So that was really fun.
Oh, good.
I was gonna ask also just like something, I don't know if you were able to see it, but were you able to see any shoes at GaryCon? Just the like 2 different types of brands. I heard there is gonna be shoes.
I don't know. I'm such the fashionista, Bonsai, as you know. But if those shoes were there, I missed them.
Oh, darn it!
Didn't
It's
get my
okay.
message from last week. Now we know you didn't watch the show. You're good.
No, I'm just joking. We're joking. But no, it sounded like you had a fun time, and does this like, so if people want to attend the event later on, is this like usually when it happens, and how can people keep their eyeballs on it?
Yeah, it happens about this time of year every year in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. If you really want to go to where a lot of the history of our tabletop gaming industry, really, an important place in the history of role playing. You can even do tours of Gary Gygax's house and stuff like that. You can go to the game store. You can go to the D&D museum. There's a lot of real geeky stuff to do there. It's I definitely recommend it. It's a great show.
All right, sounds fun. Very, very fun. But you know what I feel like? Speaking of traveling, I want to go to a galaxy far, far away, Javion. Take me there.
You got it, Bonsai. So this article comes to us from Chase Carter of Dicebreaker, and it's all about Star Wars Unlimited's new set called Shadows of the Galaxy. For those of you who maybe haven't heard of this Star Wars, I would call it a deck building game, but it's more of a TCG, or maybe even a CCG, collecting cards more so than trading them. What you're doing is you are playing in the Star Wars world with a bunch of cards that they have created specially designed for this brand new game. So their first set came out with the release of the game last month, and now you can play in their second set if you want to grab that. It's actually going to be in pre-order in July. So Shadows of the Galaxy has a lot to do with bounty hunters and you probably know where I'm going with this. If you've ever heard of The Outer Rim, or maybe you're part of the Mandalorian craze once that TV show was out, you're going to get to play as the Mandalorian, Grogu, of course, and even Moff Gideon, who is one of the deck leaders. The way Star Wars Unlimited works is similar to Planeswalker in like a Magic the Gathering game. You might be able to pick up a deck leader, start them off in the game, and upgrade them over time or use their special abilities. Moff Gideon is one of them, where you're aggressively deploying your units either on the ground or in the space surrounding a planet. And he's all about like doing lots of damage or empowering his units, whereas the Mandalorian, also a deck leader, is all about positioning and maneuvering with his jetpack or using his allies to his advantage. Grogu is not one of the deck leaders. Instead, he's one of the units you can deploy. He is there to either heal one of your units for some mana, or I believe force power might be what it's used. I haven't actually played the game yet. I'm really excited to try it out because it's one of those games where it came out really recently and it's actually been super, super popular. We talked about this a little while ago, but Star Wars Unlimited has actually been exceeding a lot of different expectations, especially surrounding Fantasy Flight games. One of their most successful, if not their most successful, on launch so far. They've been doing a lot of demos around different conventions. We even saw them over at TwitchCon in Vegas last year, and we didn't actually get a chance to play it. But I actually went to the Golden Age collectibles store in Pike Place Market that's down the street from me, and I saw that the starter decks are really there. They're actually there. You can just pick one up. So I hope you guys want to play one with me, because I would really love to get in on this soon, especially before, all the big tournaments and stuff come up, because they're planning on doing a lot of organized play as well. I don't know if you guys are big Star Wars fans, but I know you're definitely big sci-fi fans. So I think this is something you guys would like.
Yeah,
Both.
no, yeah, it's definitely looks awesome, and the artwork is nice. And also, but the crazier thing is that I've been noticing there's been a launch, like I feel like trading card games is like, this is like they're trying to do that big push of like having more and more, like, other than just being Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. They're like, let's go break out other things like
Yeah.
Lorcana. Then now we have the Star Wars, and all kinds of
This
jazz, and
is
it's very
definitely the
exciting.
year of the TCG. We've had a
Yeah.
lot, or we've had a lot of new releases. I think everybody's coming out with a card game
Well,
this year.
one of the challenges with TCGs is having enough people to play it to create sort of that network and community for trading and stuff. And it makes sense to me. A tabletop RPG, tabletop board gaming space has been growing quite a bit in the last 10 years, and so maybe maybe we've hit a critical mass where trading card games are a bit more viable, like startup trading card games, other than the big three.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Part of me is wondering if maybe the Lord of the Rings set and the hype around the One Ring has sort of inspired these other companies to come up with their own TCGs.
I think what
It's-
really inspires them is how profitable they are.
Yeah.
That's true too. Dollar signs,
It's a good thing,
obviously.
though. We've seen what the designers are saying about their own games, and especially with Star Wars Unlimited, just how much they believe in their own products and how much fun they had putting it together. The idea behind it being building something that's going to last. Like, that's always the big goal whenever a new card game comes out. We saw that with Altered when we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. It's all about trying to make something that's going to last. And Star Wars Unlimited has 9 expansion sets planned. So looks like we're going to get a lot more Star Wars Unlimited coming soon.
Cool.
Whoa, 9. So we're already, Javion, you're gonna be our Star Wars trading card game expert for the next 9 releases, please.
Absolutely. Happy to.
You'll handle Lorcana, Bonsai.
Well, that's the
Yeah, I got a lot
yeah.
of Lorcana.
Yeah, Bava, you got Lorcana. You'll see a lot of similarities between that and Star Wars Unlimited, so you'll fit in right at home.
There you go. Ooh, nice and cozy. You know what? Actually, I heard there's actually some more cozy news and exciting news about, especially about this like little convention called Gen Con. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Anita, have you?
I might have maybe I passed through Indianapolis once or twice.
Mhm.
Yes, we've got some news about Trade Day at Gen Con. This comes from our pals over at ICV2. They announced a keynote speaker. Gen Con Trade Day has announced that keynote speaker is Kathleen Mercury, whose topic is Let's All Play Together, What Educators, Librarians, and Retailers Can Learn from Each Other. And Mercury is the lecturer at the School of Education at California Polytechnic. Humboldt and published tabletop game designer. We've got a few other folks that are doing the work there too. ICV2 President Milton Greep, who actually helped Gen Con set up Trade Day about 15 years ago, is going to be present, will present his annual white paper on the state of the hobby games market with updated information on early 2024. Other programming for Gen Con Day. Gen Con Trade Day is set to be announced just yet after it's the day-long event that is made for retailers, educators, and librarians. And we're also going to see the return of the Trade Day Marketplace, which is a special exhibit area on Wednesday morning. On Wednesday evening, Gen Con will host Demo Night and Social Mixer, where games demoed by the Trade Day presenters, exhibitors, and game publishers are all going to be exhibiting at Gen Con Indy. Registration for Trade Day does open in May, so check it out.
I just want to add, I'm just so excited to see the Trade Day is done so well for Gen Con. We started it, like I said, about 15 years ago, and it's just grown. It's just been like one of these nice programs within the convention. It doesn't get a lot of hype, but the people that go really love it, and that number keeps growing every day. And it happens, the day before Gen Con when before the convention really starts with the slam. So people that attend it who also want to go to the regular Gen Con just can like ease right into that. Anyway, it's great. I'm glad they got a keynote speaker this year.
I'm very excited to maybe check it out this year. Last couple of years, I've unfortunately been a little bit late getting into Indy, but hopefully we can show up early and I can take in some of the festivities. Fingers crossed.
I actually, the bigger thing is like I like what the topic is that they're going to be talking about for like education with like libraries. We've noticed like also throughout the years that libraries and lots of gaming realtors and even my local library have their own board games area and everything that you can rent out, and it makes gaming accessible more to folks who don't maybe have a friendly local gaming store that they can get with. And I have also a friend who works in the library who like really went hard on creating a personalized room in their university for board games. And so the more like we can actually add to like at least gaming rooms in libraries is better for like in the long term for me, or not for me but like for everybody, sorry, because just thinking about things.
Local libraries really are the unsung heroes of making sure that community gaming stays like in the community and like fostering that. I love it. It's great.
Yes. But yeah, no, on this, I feel like we could go ahead and segment, since we're already talking about business, I feel like we should get into the head of a CEO of a big company. Peter, do you think you can help us out with that?
Yes, I can. This week, Hasbro CEO Chris Cox answered questions on the company's recent layoffs, the pivot to games from toys, the impact of the leash changes to the D&D Open Gaming license last year, and on overproduction of Magic the Gathering in an interview on the NPR podcast, Here and Now, Anytime. Cox was asked about the Hasbro layoffs, which cut 1,100 jobs in December 2023, including senior Wizards of the Coast employees. Cox emphasized that the layoffs were concentrated in the toy business, but did acknowledge that they also impacted WotC. He argued that the WotC layoffs were due to changing priorities in a growing business. Asked about the pivot to games from toys, Cox pointed to the difference in growth rates, noting that toys have been growing at a single-digit rate over the past decade, while games had grown at a high single-digit rate. Cox argued that the overwhelmingly negative reaction to the leak changes to WotC's open gaming license for Dungeons & Dragons early in 2023, which led to a reversal of the plan, had not damaged the brand, and that their data shows that overall satisfaction with the game is generally up. When asked about whether overproduction of Magic the Gathering was hurting the brand, Cox pointed to the game's overall expansion, which he attributed to new styles of casual play and an increasingly diverse player base, which for Magic is now 35% non-male versus 45% non-male for Dungeons and Dragons. This article was brought to us from Milton Grip of ICV2.
Thank you for all that information. And now we got a little bit of the reason behind what happened during Christmas.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, on that note, I feel like we should move on to something that I just found, just like a little fun little snippet for folks. If you happen to be a fan of King of Tokyo, guess what? A new monster is going to be released soon, and this is so Thunderdog, Ukraine's new national monster, is now on sale. This is going to be for sorry, boo boo. Yeah, the as a fundraiser for United 24, the humanitarian demining program in Ukraine. If you're not familiar what humanitarian demining is, it aims to clear land so civilians can return to their homes and their everyday routine without threat of explosive hazards. Is just to restore peace and security to a community level. So, as part of the fundraiser, King of Tokyo is selling this new special Ukraine-inspired monster. The monster, Thunderdog, is inspired by Patreon, the minesweeping canine mascot of the State of Emergency Services in Ukraine. So when you do visit the website, I will warn you that it is not localized or translated. The BGG one does, but when you go to the official Ukraine site, it isn't coded to be translated in your local area, so that you may have a problem with that. But if you do, they do ship internationally, and if you are interested in getting this creature, I will go ahead and post the information in chat. What do y'all feel about localized monsters in King of Tokyo? I kind of like this as like a new charity thing.
Sure, it's a canine dog. It's like a mind sniffer, right?
Yeah. Electric
Yeah.
dog powers, and it's a big old buff dog, ready to
Yeah.
take names and clear out these mines. But I feel like this is something that maybe King of Tokyo, because the monsters in there, if you play the game, doesn't necessarily have very special, unique powers that one up things. So it would be kind of nice to have different flavors of creatures that are like, kind of like going to Pokemon Go. There's only certain Pokemons you can get in certain areas. Maybe there should be certain King of Tokyo creatures that you can get, and proceeds go to like, yeah, regionalized. I just like that idea.
Anything we can do to support Ukraine in their fight
Mm.
against tyranny.
Yes. But yeah, also like a lot of efforts for different charity because a lot of the world needs help right now. And it would be fun just as gamers to come together and like, become big gigantic monsters that help. Yes, this is how this. Oh, love it. Oh, but you know what monsters do that we have to be aware of is that they go for cities, right, Javion? And if you have to go
Absolutely.
for cities, what are we going to do with them?
What happens when they destroy the cities?
What happens to do you have to start building them again, Javion? What do you think?
That's a really good question, Bonza. I'm gonna have to think about that as we talk about this next article. This one is about a new board game called Cities. It's about renovating, so maybe that's what we could do. So this article comes to us from Jeffrey Dome Sanchez of ICV2. So Cities is a new board game all about renovating cities. You get a neighborhood, and you're tasked with trying to beautify it and make it more efficient. This is a game by Devier Games. You might recognize that name because the other games they've made, like Red Cathedral and Mazescape. And the designers are Steve Finn, who made Herbaceous, and Phil Walker Harding, who made Sushi Go. So maybe you can spot some of the similarities in design choice here. The game is all about building a city. So it's very similar to maybe some other city building games you played before. You're going to be setting up new houses, office buildings, parks, rec spaces, and maybe even some water features to make it a little bit prettier. The game is played in pursuit of trying to make things as good looking as possible, but also efficiency is key. As you stack the different pieces, they're little stackable building pieces, draft cards, and even place meeples down as workers, you'll be competing to earn points. The game is a 2 to 4 player game that plays in about 40 minutes, and it's got a lot of similarities to another game I used to play, or still play actually, Rolling Heights, which is a game more about rolling the meeples instead of placing them down like workers, but the principles are the same because you've got those stackable pieces in the different colors, so you can kind of visualize yourself upgrading these large buildings. So it's really cool. It's also got that city planning feel, so that sort of the similarities are pretty cool. It looks like it's going to retail for about $29.99 in August this year. So if you're looking forward to a nice, fun little core game for city building or city planners out there, you won't have to wait too long. It'll come out this year. I like simple games like this. I like a game that isn't afraid to be a little bit derivative, but put a new twist or a new take on it. So check out the images from the article, or just Google it and go to BGG if you want to see more examples of how it's going to play out.
Ooh, I really like the price the price point of this, and two, how like the concept of like making maybe like a very beautiful, aesthetically pleasing city, and stuff. And it's just the art also from what the box is showing, the art looks really, really nice. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, this is like a gold standard of like, I want to build a new board game. No need to reinvent the wheel or do anything absolutely insanely crazy. You can put a new twist on something or make it unique without having to, create a new meeple rolling system or something like that, right? So this looks pretty fun. I think it'll be pretty popular too when it comes out, especially with the casual gamers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, definitely, definitely. What do you all think about this game of cities? I wonder if there's
I'd
gonna
love
be
to.
like yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to try it. I mean, I'm tempted to like go for it right now. Let's play. Let's do it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, like you were sort of saying, Bonsai, it'd be interesting to see if there's some expansions for it.
Yes.
Um,
Expansions for like eco-friendly city and like,
Yeah.
15-minute, like I think it's like the 15-minute golden rule or something that's like a new thing.
15-minute cities.
Yeah, 15-minute. Okay, that's what it's called. 15-minute cities. I totally forgot the name.
That would be actually a really good name for like a pocket version of it where it's like a quick play.
A 15-minute city.
15-minute cities.
Oh, there you go.
Pop-up
So
city.
folks, hire Anita.
Trademark.
They-
Hire me.
They already got the expansion, one of the expansions for the portable ready, Thank you. But no, this is great, and thank you, Javon, for bringing this to. I honestly, I already have somebody that I need to send this
Hmm.
game to, whose child is into city planning. So I'm like, oh, gonna send that one over. You know what though? I feel like at this time, I want to get to know more about all of y'all. And it is now time for Opinion Corner, where this is just going to be us talking about our opinions of certain things that happen to be in board related stuff. Last week, we talked about types of dice and certain dice, and then you heard me go on a rant about how I hate wooden dice. But this week, we're going to be talking about dice accessories. So, like, we're talking about dice holders, dice towers, all that kind of things. I kind of want to get this Skinny, your opinion on things, especially you, Javion, because I feel like out of all of us, you are the most dice goblin and have the most collection of dice out of all of us.
I have a lot.
So yeah.
I don't know.
You may
Anita
have
might give me a run for my money.
I think Noir actually is giving us all a run for my money. I don't have that many dice, honestly.
But you guys are in the same house, so you fuse your collections together.
So
Right?
we're going to talk about dice cups.
I don't share.
Oh, okay.
I
Never
don't share
mind.
Can I talk about dice cups now?
dice.
Yes, you can talk about dice.
Go,
cups.
JP.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go.
So I brought this up a couple weeks ago. It was a very contentious topic. I had a lot of pushback from a lot of different places. Let's think about this. Let's actually like break it down. What are the real cons here? What are we actually avoiding when it comes to these really customizable, unique accessories? Okay, what is it? The noise, Do you feel it's unnecessary, or like it's taking up too much table space? When's the last time you played D&D and didn't reach for your cup to take a sip of like coffee or like soda or something like that? When's the last time you were like, oh man, this cup is taking up too much space on my table. Oh, I'd rather sacrifice, being thirsty just so I have enough room to have my dice go flying off the table and into my bookcase. Imagine there was a simple device, not a dice tray, that could keep your dice from rolling off the table. Imagine a drama generation machine, okay? You set the cup down the
I'm intrigued.
correct way, okay? You set it down, and at whatever point you decide, you can say whatever you want to, and you reveal what is inside. Not only is everybody paying attention to the pretty dice that you bought, they're waiting with bated breath to see what number was rolled. Not to mention, if we're using these dice for display purposes, or if we're buying these dice because we are afraid of like them getting damaged or something by rolling on the table, why are you using a dice tower then? Why are you saying we can't have both a dice tray and the dice cup? These things can work together. We don't have to fight anymore, you guys.
But my dice tray has a spot for my dice. Why do I need a cup?
Because
My
then you
dice.
take the dice out of those spaces and you put them in the cup, and then you roll it in.
But
They work together.
I got the
Yeah,
slots.
well, okay, so here's the correction though. We didn't have a problem with the dice cups. It was the dice size of the cup, okay? Those were shot glasses, Javion, that you were presenting to us, and
They
they
were
were
mini
not
dice cups.
They
They were
were
teeny
mini
tiny.
dice cups. Too tiny. I want big cups.
I'm
But
sorry,
I don't
Bonsai,
want
where are
cups.
these fist-size dice that you're finding that don't fit inside the cups? I'm confused. Are you like buying jumbo dice at the like Toys R Us or something?
Yes, I have. Look at this dice. I have my giant dice right here.
There she goes.
Oh.
Oh,
My
We-
dice. Look at
we've
that.
lost
How am
Bud.
I
Oh,
gonna
I
roll
see.
this in your cup?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
How am I gonna roll this?
You're rolling that on the table, right? Yeah, that's what
Yes.
you're rolling on the table.
Yes.
Okay.
You were talking about the drama. What's more dramatic than pulling out that big chunky boy and then throwing that beast down on the table?
Okay, well, you know what you need now? You need a jumbo dice cup for it to fit into. And you need to be playing out in a field for LARPing. Okay, that's a D20 for LARPing, Bonsai.
A dice stein.
A dice
Yeah,
die.
exactly. Or a dice
I feel
tray.
like you can sell me on this argument if you can make it squishable, because I like dice trays that, like, for example, dice trays that I have portable ones that I can fit in a nice little booklet and then like take it around to go. It's all about like the accessories about transportability. If I can get one of those collapsible silicone dice cups, I guess. Oh, he's gonna show Peter while Javion's looking. Do you have any dice accessories you want to rant about?
I kind of like the trays. I think the trays were a good invention. I kind of thought I'd seen it all until I saw the trays. And like, I do not like the dice towers. I have a bad memory of the dice towers from back in college. I played with these two guys. I had some questionable choices in friends, and these two guys, they were both cheaters. And like one of them was really sure that the other one was cheating all. So he hand built a dice tower because I'd never even seen. I mean, these were not a thing back in the day. I'm not saying he invented it. I'm sure he saw one somewhere. And he made us roll in the dice tower all the time. If we were gonna roll dice, we had to roll in the dice tower because he was so convinced that my other friend was cheating. So
Well,
I have bad PTSD about dice towers.
Okay, I could understand with that
I
like
have-
dice towers would not be. Ooh, that was nice
this
and
is a-
rollable.
It's a rolling tray. I
Ooh.
think this one is from Dispel Dice. And it comes with a little slot right here where you can put a couple sets of dice in. And you were talking about portability. This one you just roll back up. It's got beautiful art on the back too.
And I do like that it's a discipline in case people are like doing things you don't want. You could take it and go, Pah!
Yeah. Smack someone over the head with this.
Oh, Yvonne, you were patiently waiting. What do you want to show us that you went and ran and got?
Is it a dice cup?
Say something else about dice cups.
Oh,
something
it's
else
a
about dice cups.
dice catapult.
The dice
This is a
crossbow.
dice crossbow. So what you do is you load the D20 inside this little socket right here. You pull it back, and then if it wasn't so blurry, it would be a little bit more dramatic. But yeah, you hold the dice catapult and you shoot it, presumably into a dice cup, which you will then place down onto the table upside down.
That sounds like too many steps, Javion. You've lost
Yeah,
me.
wait, yeah.
Okay, maybe a few too many steps. But yeah, I try not to aim it at any of my players because they get a little nervous when I pull this one out.
I do have a different friend who did need definitely a dice cup or something, because his idea of rolling dice is he gets so excited. Like, it's time to roll dice. He pick up the dice and he like that. And
Oh.
they're all like ducking for cover. Miniatures are getting knocked over, components are getting displaced. It's like, oh gosh.
That could have been, you could have got a dice tray for that.
Yeah.
Would have saved your table, your beautifully constructed
Yep.
scene. Instead, there's a D4 wedged into the side of this tower.
No, but I will say that was a very strong argument for dice cups, and I appreciate that. I guess I will also raise you instead of just dice cups. What about this? Is something that not a lot of people have: dice poppers. It's like you ever played Boggle?
Like
You
the
could get
Pop-O-Matic or Trouble?
Pop-O-Matic. Yeah,
I have
like
one of
Trouble
those.
and stuff.
I don't know where
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
So
I have
like
one
a
that
plastic
just
dome
looks
when you
like
pop it down?
paint, and you can like customize how it looks and stuff.
Ooh, nice. I gotta go look on Etsy for those kind of things because I was like, yeah, dice poppers are fun and too. But I will say, as an argument against dice cups, there's people who are professional, like, in like gamblers who know how to like shake the dice and bend the dice in such a way
Oh
that
my
don't
gosh,
always
dice benders.
dice benders.
Okay, yeah, I guess if you're in a casino, I wouldn't recommend you using a dice cup, sure. But we're playing at a table where sleight of hand isn't only allowed, but encouraged at my table. So, Bonsai, if you want to learn dice mancy, please, by all means, feel free to use my cups and show me how you can manipulate the rolls inside the cup. I can't wait to see it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
The
So
dice have been cast.
dice have been cast. I feel like we have stumbled across a very, very strong opinion that we could go on about. But you want to know,
We could keep rolling.
We could
we
keep
could
rolling.
keep rolling.
Yeah.
But I feel like at this point, since we got so much spice on that, and it's just been taken over by cups, I feel like we should take those cups to court. Crowdfunder court, that is.
Present the pips.
1 second, everybody.
Welcome to Crowdfunder Court. Here come the judges. Prepare to be judged. All right, court is now in session.
And welcome back, folks. We are now in session at court. And first up to the plate, Peter. What do you have?
Oh, I've got a good one for you, Your Honor. This is The Hunting of the Shark. 20 years of lone shark puzzle hunts is currently funding on Kickstarter. They've raised over $42,000 versus a goal of $33,000, and they have 6 days to go. Okay, so I'm going to read directly from their post on Kickstarter. For 2 decades, Lone Shark Games has been the go-to company for puzzle huts across the country. We've run a couple hundred convention events, game launches, community events, escape rooms, and ARGs, all packed with the finest puzzles by the finest puzzle creators. But there's been one consistent issue. When a hunt is over, its puzzles disappear. Our customer service shark, Sharky McSharkerson, has fielded untold requests to release the hunt after it ends. Sharky doesn't do that. He's kept them locked in Sharky's puzzle vault until now. To celebrate our 20th anniversary year, we're putting hundreds of puzzles, many in full hunt form, into a full-color, 280-page hardcover coffee table book, plus more if we reach our stretch goals. There are at least 300 puzzles in Hunting the Shark 20 years of Lone Shark puzzle hunts, some of types you've never seen. This collector's edition is one of the largest puzzle troves ever released, and we're excited to share it with you. But that's not all. We've got a lot of puzzles that just won't fit. So we're creating a subscription site called Chums, where we'll publish 10 or more puzzles every month, some in hunt form. Every pledge for the book comes with an 8-month subscription to the Chums site. More if we fund stretch goals. Plus, there's a giant Puzzlevania poster map, a new variety crossword book called Mind Spaces, and all our puzzle books and games. We've got a few levels called Sharknado, Card Shark, and The Meg, where you get all our puzzle books and games for quite a deal. The Hunting of the Shark is only available for our 20th anniversary after our pledge manager concludes. We'll print this once. That's it. We'll keep some copies for our web store and our con appearances, but it won't be sent to distribution. If you want more than 300 of the coolest puzzles in a fancy book, pick it up there. Here. Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. I feel like there's blood in the water on this deal, and I hope people get into it. Now, since you presented, I will go ahead and have one of my own. This is called Bugsnax, the card game. So if you ever played the video game called Bugsnax, it's like a game kind of like Pokemon, except you're a Muppet-like creature who crash lands on an island that is inhabited by creatures that are actually food, like not like just being plain creatures. Then you don't have to process them into food. They're already food, like a burger monster, a hot dog monster, a strawberry monster, and you slowly catch them and devour them, and they replace parts of your body. And there's a much, much, much more deeper and twisted story to it, but it's pretty and it looks fun. So this is a card game version of that by the same creators of the game. So it's a competitive light strategy card game made for 2 to 6 players. There's 2 different styles of deck that you can buy in this Kickstarter. There's the standard deck, which is set to be 20 to 30 minutes long, versus the advanced deck for those who are more experienced card game players. That is scheduled to be about 60 minutes long. The premise is simple. The first player to eat 6 points worth of Bugsnax win. Each player chooses their Muppet creature called a Grumpus. Each Grumpus has special abilities to catch certain Bugsnax and bonuses to traps. You draw 3 trap cards, 1 Grumpus to start your starting hands. And easy, who starts is whoever has eaten last in IRL. They lay out all the various different creatures from the Bugsnax stack, and you just have at it as you slowly either draw a card or play a card, draw a trap card, or eat a Bugsnax as one of your turns. This ends Wednesday, May 1st, and if you're a big fan of the game, this is definitely the game for you. There you go. I rest my case. From that, I feel like with all of this food in mind, we need something more palate cleansing, like floral cleansing, smelling wise.
Yes.
Anita, can you help us with that?
It is spring, and spring has sprung, and with it, we have Floral Dragons, a field guide to Floral Dragons from our good friends over at Hit Point Press. We've got a beautiful collection of different floral dragons with, let's see, we've got a fascinating world of flowers and dragons with a dash of magic, and a fabulously floral Draconomicon featuring Kin Wald's gorgeous illustrations and this over 200-page book contains everything you need to spark imagination and create floral dragon-filled stories and adventures. It contains over 25 stat blocks for floral dragons, pests, pollinators, and fungi, 10 magic items and poisons inspired by floral dragons, and some rich lore detailing the dragons' origins, habitats, and how to roleplay them. There's azalea dragons, dandelion dragons, rhododendrons, wisteria, and much, much more. It is absolutely beautiful. The rewards, there are beautiful deluxe edition hardcovers, layer maps, GM screens, wisteria candles. You could even get custom some custom dice, and a beautiful pendant is one of their Kickstarter goals. So I highly recommend you check it out. They've got about 26 days left to go. They are fully funded, actually at 505,000 of their original $10,000 goal. Over 5,000 backers so far. I'd recommend give it a check out. It's absolutely beautiful, and even some of the lore is rich and vibrant and detailed as these dragons are. Give it a look-see.
Ooh, very nice. Thank you so much, Anita, for that and presenting us. It keeps us in mind that you have to be careful of what plants you do come in contact with, because if you don't, you might go out of this world tripping, right? Beyond with in space.
That's right. Astro Prisma. It's a solo RPG on Kickstarter right now. Solo RPGs are different than solo journaling RPGs because it's a full role-playing game system designed for one player. In Astro Prisma, you play in a retro sci-fi, cyberpunk, post-apocalyptic setting. It's all about exploration, and if you're like me, you don't like drawing. So you don't want to have to build out the whole thing yourself. Instead, you get to use these 36 pre-made tiles and a planet generation system for you to explore. Inside this world or galaxy that you'll be playing in, there are a bunch of different skirmishing factions, 5 of them, all unique, sending you out on different bounty quests. So you can join up with or oppose whichever factions you feel your character aligns with. It's also a very replayable game. All you have to do is create a new character and generate some more planets. The combat is immersive. You get to do some hacking, implant some cyber tech into your cybernetics. There's a bunch of different customizable weapon mods and even a bunch of spaceships that are upgradable and fully customizable. So you can make your own dream ship. There are a bunch of different character options as well. You could be an eco-terrorist, an astromancer, glitchblade, wirehead, desperado, or even a chrome skin, whatever that is, but it sounds cool. Now, if this sounds exciting to you, you could just get the PDF version. You could get the book and PDF version together, or you can go for the upgrade, where you get not 1, but 5 separate expansions, giving you a lot more options for planet generation and characters, even more immersive combat, and new adventures for you to play in as well. It also comes with a journal. So if you're disappointed that it's not a solo journaling RPG, then you can actually use one of theirs that they actually send you, a full, real, physical journal. I love solo RPG games because sometimes when I'm done with work, I just want to relax, and video games just don't do it for me. There's too many limitations on what can happen, but a solo RPG is not bound by those limitations. It's all the fun and creativity of a sandbox RPG or tabletop role-playing game, but without all the hassle of trying to coordinate all your friends or family or whoever you play with to try to get to one place at the same time. So that's one reason I really love them. Definitely check this out. You've got 13 days left to check out Astro Prisma on Kickstarter.
Thank you so much, Davion. And I love that, like, basically these Kickstarters, you've been just presenting so many solo RPGs, so much heart, so much love. But with that, I feel like, hey, folks, that is the end of Table Takes. But don't worry, because Peter, you, our grand leader, shall tell us what is in store for next week.
Yes, indeed. Yes, this does conclude another episode of Lovely Gamers, bringing you lovely gaming news. But don't go away, don't go far, because in just a couple of hours, we will have Sarah's Table. The team has gotten themselves into trouble. Watch as their lives flash before their eyes as they try desperately to get back out of Strange Hollow. That's today at 5 p.m. Pacific time. On Monday, I will be continuing my pursuit of a domination victory as England, playing Sid Meier's Civilization 6 on Peter versus the Machine. That's Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. A public execution, the never-ending darkness of the Frost Maiden, missing fisherman, the search for Chardelaine, and more on Dress to Quest, Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. See the fallout after an extreme night of the Second Inquisition on Indie by Night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Oh, that's Tuesday. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Oh my God. And Josh is watching. Sorry, Josh. I almost got the time wrong. Wednesday, we have miniature painting with Path of the Brush at 4 p.m. Pacific. And then Mike Boozer, yes, that Mike Boozer of Gen Con fame, returns to DM Dungeons and Dragons set in the world of Chaldea on Actoroki Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Thursday morning at 10 a.m., we have Blood on the Clock Tower, the craziest, most amazing social deduction game ever invented. And then join us again at 5 p.m. Pacific time for Shadowrun from Roll with Rem Alternus. And then Friday, oh, you're here, so you're watching, so you know what it is. At 2 p.m., it's back to us, TableTakes. Oh, yes, that's it. Thank you to the Gen Con TV crew. Anita filling in for Marcus Mays, Steve Connard, Sarah Moore, Tanel Lovett. Thanks to my delightful co-hosts, Javion, Bonsai Baby, and Anita. And thanks most of all to you for watching, hang out with us and chat. And remember, follow Gen Con TV for more of the best 4 days in gaming all year long, right here on twitch.tv/GenConTV. And by follow, I mean click the follow button, please. Please, it makes me happy when you do that. Yeah, thank you. Bye.